another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we so appreciate you watching the show. Happy holidays to you. I love being able to say that. Happy December, happy holidays, best wishes to you. Of course, all kinds of good, happy holiday feelings going on everywhere. Same thing on the show. We have good, happy feeling guests today. Guests with stories that are going to make you happy. I guarantee it. I can actually say that. I guarantee it. Our first guest today is Mike Capozzoli. Now, he has just finished his walk across the United States. He started it on February 1st, and he walked all the way to Massachusetts to raise awareness for child abuse and to raise money for pet-friendly shelters at the domestic abuse shelters. An amazing thing. They don't exist. But Mike's helping out with that. He raised thousands of dollars, and I can't wait for him to tell us about his success. He's fresh. He's wearing fresh sneakers. He's ready to go again, I think. We're just holding him down so he can do the show. Then we're going to talk with Sedona Kind. Sedona Kind is an amazing non-for-profit organization out of Sedona. We're going to have with us Lucy Paradise and Joy Sinnott, and Sedona Kind and the Kindness Bench Project. We're going to focus on the Kindness Bench Project. They have developed these beautiful benches with wonderful kindness messages. They're all over Sedona, giving people a nice place to have a rest and enjoy the view. And they do so many other things too. It's just a fledgling organization that's going to get bigger and bigger. So I'm excited to have them on the show. This is their first time. Then we're going to go on location, courtesy of our sponsors, the Cat and Verde Links, to Fort Verde State Historic Park. As usual, they're doing their Victorian Christmas celebration. It's even more gorgeous than ever. I don't know how they do it. All the fresh trees and the handmade garlands and wreaths, and they're doing their candlelight walks. And if you don't manage to make it to a candlelight walk, you can go anytime this month and see how the fort is decorated in a truly accurate Victorian era style. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we'll finish out our show today with a wonderful performance from Ken Trout. Ken Trout is probably the most modest musician you're ever going to meet. He barely admits to being a musician, but the man is amazing. And he says he's going to play on the show today live for us. So I'm really thrilled. Let's go ahead and get started. We have with us Mike Capozzoli.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
You look fantastic.
Thanks. I feel fantastic.
That's what walking. How many miles?
3,280 miles.
3,280 miles. And you had a pedometer on you, didn't you?
I had a bunch of tracking devices on the phone. I didn't have a Fitbit, but I had a Garmin. Whole bunch of things, yeah.
Wow, how many miles did you calculate?
I did 13.9 miles a day on average for the walk. The life of the walk was 235 calendar days.
Wow.
And the last 6 or 7 weeks were every day it became a math problem. I've got to finish before.
Right.
I didn't want to be in upstate New York in October, November.
That is true. Totally understandable.
So,
yeah, so we're looking at millions of steps here.
just under 9 million. Under or over, I lost count there.
Wow, around 9 million steps. How many pairs of sneakers did you go through?
I rotated 5 pairs of shoes. I have a shoe sponsor. She supplied the shoes, a company called Reshot, if I can.
Nice.
And they supplied the shoes. So I never really wore them out. They're all compressed, but I just rotated 5 pair throughout the walk.
Wow, that was a very
day.
smart thing for you to do.
I read about it.
Yeah. I bet you did your research.
I did. I did a lot of homework
about this. You take 9
about
million
this.
steps and you walk thousands of miles. You're going to do some research. Now let's put some backstory in it, if you would, Cappy. Tell us how this all started.
If you want to flash back to 1979, a friend of mine said, "Will you help me volunteer tonight at a safe house?" This was in Scottsdale, Arizona. I didn't know what a safe house was. I said, "What are we going to do?" He said, "We're going to drink beer and paint." And I was a professional in one of those two in 1979. And the first night we did that. Second night we painted and drank beer at a safe house. And the third night the police brought a little girl in who was beaten beyond recognition. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. And it made me sick to my stomach. And I went out and cut a deal with my maker. You really can't negotiate with God, but when you're 28 years old, you can make all kinds of promises. And I had a daughter, 2 years old at the time. And the deal was something like, if you take care of my daughter, I'll take care of my daughter. Do your job, I'll do my job. And life goes on, you forget all about that stuff. And I always had an affinity to helping kids and shelters, but just didn't really know what to do about that. And then in 2013, I got a wake-up call. If you want the long version of the story, it takes about another 30 seconds. I was doing the Senior Olympics. I was qualifying for the Senior Olympics of the state of Arizona in Scottsdale. And I was in 6th place with 1 lap to go. And then I was in 5th place. And then I was in 4th place. And something started happening inside of here. I didn't know what it was. I knew exactly what it was. I was 1 mile away from that shelter and 35 years down the road from that promise. And the guy in front of me keeled over. And I sort of jokingly say, I don't know if he had a heart attack or a cramp, and I didn't care. I'm going to the Olympics. And I finished the games, the event, and I started crying, and I felt this heat, almost an explosion go off my chest of heat. And I knew it was a wake-up call, a reminder of the promise I made all those years ago. And I started acting on it, and I asked the guy for $1 million. I started crying at the end of the race. He said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Sure, give me $1 million." He said, "I don't have $1 million for you," which meant he had $1 million, just not for me. And I said, "Give me just a penny, please." And that's the name of the organization today. The word sort of just came out, and I've been acting upon it since then.
Wow.
And as you know, I associate myself with the Verde Valley Sanctuary. So what we're going to do in 2019, now this is out to the public, we're going to get at least one doggy door going that's pet friendly at the shelter.
Right.
You can bring him to hotels, you can bring him in airlines, you can bring him in every place, but you can't bring a pet to a place of safety. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
That just flies in the face of logic. I understand for all the logistics and all the medical reasons, but we can still overcome that. We can fix that. If it's just one doggy door in 2019, we're on the way.
There you go. And statistics show that people in abusive relationships with a pet tend to stay in the abusive relationship because of the pet. To non-pet owners, that sounds silly. To pet owners, you go, "Oh yeah, I get it."
Up to 40% of kids stay in an abusive environment or are kept in, one of the two, because there's no place for the pet to go. Now, the abuser may threaten the pet also. That's part of that scenario. I'm not a clinician. I don't speak to that. I just got to get this one doggy door flapping in 2019.
There you go. So that's the projected hope.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So why did you choose to walk across the country, though, to raise money?
I didn't choose. I didn't choose. And it sounds kind of woo-woo, living in Sedona. I'm from Boston, kind of cynical, but I kept hearing this, "You're going to walk across America." And it wasn't a voice, it was just a sensation I had. And when I became a race walker, I'm thinking, this is pretty easy. Why don't you just keep walking? And it wasn't a Forrest Gump kind of thing. I wasn't trying to prove anything. All I was trying to do is raise money and awareness. And somebody in Missouri said, "Couldn't you think of a better way to raise $250,000?" And I said, "Had I thought of that, I would have done it." This is what I thought of.
Well, this works.
Yeah, it did. I wasn't ready for some of the things that the experience brought me. I wasn't ready for the stories of abuse that people told me. I didn't understand the statistics. I was just trying to fundraise and bring some and get the pets in with these kids. I didn't know that I would be a vehicle or a median or just a penny wood for the stories that men, women, and children shared with me. It was just some horrific, horrific situations out there. There's lots of survivors. Those were my heroes.
Yeah.
And the days, if I can say, that really, really stunk out there, the wind's blowing 40, 50 miles an hour for weeks at a time, not 50 miles, but considerable wind in Oklahoma. And I'm thinking, the time it took you to complain, one kid was brutally beaten in those last 9 seconds. Get over yourself. So that's what empowered me to keep this thing going.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, you brought with you a memento.
I did.
That you created.
This is the back of the door of the trailer. I don't know if you can see that.
The trailer that you stayed in at night.
I did. This is 3,200 miles from Dana Point, California to Fenway Park, and I was one day ahead of schedule.
One day ahead. You walked all the way across, and you ended up one day ahead of schedule.
From St. Louis on, it became a math problem, really. I've got to get X amount of miles in per day. And from St. Louis on, I won't say it was easier. It was just different because there's a lot of nothingness in the West, as we know.
Yeah.
So the challenge, logistics, was moving this little travel trailer every couple of days and getting a ride back to it and moving it and hopscotching this thing across the country.
Right. Did you do this by yourself?
I did, from the New Mexico border east by myself. My friend Billy Garrett helped me. He said to me, "What can I do?" I said, "I don't know, I'm kind of afraid of Arizona." I didn't know why.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of nothingness.
That is true.
And he said, "Okay, I'll do Arizona with you." Well, there's more nothingness in New Mexico.
That is true.
But I was on my way, so it worked out okay.
Wow. So you walked during the day, and at night you stayed in the travel trailer that came with you, and this is the door from the travel trailer.
This was one of the closet doors.
One of the closet
and
doors.
I gave the travel trailer away in Boston when it made its destination.
Wow. How did it work? How did people approach you and donate? How did that turn out during your walk?
All of the funding, maybe a couple $1,000s came in along the walk. Most of the funding came in through GoFundMe and social media. And I tried to just get in front of as many people in the press as I possibly could. And little town, it was more challenging in big cities because there's bigger news stories than me out there. But little towns is where a lot of the money came from. I was in a place called Sayre, Oklahoma. I never heard of Sayre, Oklahoma. This is a quaint little town. Well, that night they had 2 suicides of young girls. And the domestic violence, I started looking into the police reports and so forth. It's the exact same in those towns as it is in California. Every place the demographic is the same, which that was staggering to me. I thought middle America would be there's no difference statistically. It crosses every single strata. Wow. It was the coolest thing I ever did, Jennifer, except for bringing up my kids.
Yeah.
It was so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And what I learned from it the most is I was a sales and marketing person my entire life. And I learned to listen with my head and my ears. But the stories they shared with me, I could listen with my heart. There are no answers. I couldn't do anything. I can't fix anything. And there's a victim mentality and a survivor mentality that I learned about. And the survivors, they got it all going on. The victims, you want to bring them along, but they've got to on their own pace.
Yeah.
I couldn't change anything. So
I hear you.
Money can't change domestic violence, unfortunately.
That's true.
It's not going to fix it. It can fix it, it can provide services, but it's not going to stop it. That's education at children's level.
That is true. And you've done an amazing job of doing just that.
We're trying.
Wow. Now, how much money did you raise?
Over 48, under $49,000. Somewhere's in there. It's still coming in. Somebody here in Cottonwood, Kara Maloney, I don't even know who Kara is really. I have a good idea. She set up a fund that every time the Red Sox won, she's also from Boston, every time the Red Sox won, somebody put $5 in. So 5 people did that. They won 119 games.
Oh, wow.
That worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, how fun.
I had one lady say to me, "How do I know you're not ripping me off?" And I said, "You do know I'm asking if you're a penny. So it's not that big a deal." She didn't give me anything. That's okay. 2 days later, the person with the same last name, different member of the family, gave me $500.
Wow.
Charlie O'Reilly, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right.
I did a talk and he was in the audience.
All right.
Yeah, it was very, very humbling.
Yeah, I bet. I said to you earlier that you're the most humble person from Massachusetts I've ever met.
Well, that's a short list.
Exactly.
Well, thank you. I'll pass that on to those.
No, don't tell them I said that. And I have to say, you look fantastic. You look younger than when you left.
I feel younger.
Yeah, you look like 10 years younger than when
thanks.
we interviewed you last year.
I think the stress was on me last year to get this thing going. I had a lot going on in the back of just the whole thing coming together. And then when I turned it over to God, really, and say, I have no idea how this thing's supposed to come off.
Yep.
And even in upstate, in Sholo, Arizona, it was snowing all around us, but not on me and not in front of me.
Wow.
Now, is that a miracle? Is that a sign? I don't know what it is, but I took it as, you know what? It's going to be okay.
Wow, that's great. Well, the path was cleared for you the whole way. As you say, you had no mechanical breakdowns.
None.
Your health was fantastic. The weather could have been better, but it could have been worse.
Yep.
So
it didn't rain until Oklahoma. California to Oklahoma did not rain.
Wow.
But I wasn't prepared for the ticks, believe it or not, and the humidity in Missouri. It was just unbearable sometimes.
Oh, so you're still raising money. So if people want to donate to the cause, if they've listened and go, oh my gosh, I have to get involved in that. Best way, how would we do that? I know you have Facebook.
JustApennyPlease.org.
There you go, JustApennyPlease.org. Super simple, great website, by the way.
Thank you.
Super simple to donate on it. You can keep in touch through Facebook as well.
Yep.
You've got a great Facebook page with things rolling through there.
Yeah, Michael Capozzoli, awesome. Cappy. If you Google it, it's everywhere.
That's true.
Thanks to people like you that helped us with the press and so forth. We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Any way we can support, for sure. And again, no donation is too small.
Just a penny, please.
There you go. That's so great. I have to say, I'm just so proud of what you've done.
Thank you.
It's just so amazing. If I can feel pride for you, I do. I absolutely do.
You guys kicked it off last year. I was here last November. And it was the first TV exposure I had. And I took that and I sent it everywhere.
Nice.
So, yeah, it really helped a lot.
Well, good. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on a tremendous success.
Thank you so much.
And just keep going.
Good.
I know. Maybe not walk so far next time, but keep going.
We're going to. Very good.
JustApennyPlease.org. Check it out. Go to JustApennyPlease.org. Raise awareness for child abuse and domestic violence shelters that need pet-friendly shelters. We'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
Paul Stanley here with Stanley Steel Structures. We offer shade structures that provide style, value, and performance. Our Equinox louvered roof opens and closes to give you the ultimate patio experience. We also offer Alumawood shade covers that looks like wood but lasts like steel and never needs painting or maintenance. Visit us at StanleySteelStructures.com. Contact us today and be covered tomorrow. Stanley Steel Structures. Let us add some space to your place.
Hi, this is Todd at Todd's Appliances in Camp Verde. We can meet or beat any box store prices on major appliances. That's right, meet or beat any box store prices. We carry name brand appliances like Maytag, Whirlpool, GE, Speed Queen. With same day, next day service, Todd's Appliance, Main Street, Camp Verde. We service what we sell and we sell what we service the least. Go to toddsappliances.com, 567-3062. See store for details.
Northern Arizona Mortgage Corporation is your local choice for personalized home loans, and they've been doing it since 1986. They help home buyers obtain FHA, VA, USDA guaranteed rural housing, and conventional loans. From start to finish, they offer a safe in-person application process with licensed loan originators. Contact Shelley White Collier at northernArizonaMortgage.com or call 634-4251. Visit their office, located at 707 East Dominguez, Suite 601, Cottonwood.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now here with Joy Sinnott and Lucy Paradise from Sedona Kind, SedonaKind.org. Check it out, SedonaKind.org online. Great website. Great organization, ladies.
It is.
Thank you. This is impressive, what you've done in a short period of time. I've known about you because I'm a hiker, and I would be hiking, and I would find these little trinkets hanging from trees. It said, you know, spread kindness, pass me on, and have a wonderful message made out of all these assortment of beads. And I thought, oh, how pretty. Someone's lost that. What a shame. It's so pretty. And then it dawned on me later on after reading about you in the media and hearing about you, oh, this is a program that you do. And now you've expanded that program even more. It's truly amazing, Joy. Tell us a little bit about the background for Sedona Kind.
Okay. Well, about 7 years ago, we were hiking, a bunch of ladies, and one of the ladies had brought up a something she had found in Tucson, and it was a little bell on a keychain, and it was from Ben's Bells, which is an organization in Tucson. A woman had lost her child, and in order to get through her grieving, had started producing these little bells, and she just put them all over town just to remind people of the good things in life. And we thought, well, we could do something like that. And so we took some of our old jewelry and tore it apart, refashioned it, put a little keychain on it, and started hanging them around town. And that story kind of grew, and people started donating old jewelry, and we just started making more and more. Every single one of them has a heart on it, and a keychain that says, take me home and spread kindness. And of course, our website is on it as well. Well, that's grown into every state has had a keychain put into it, a charm, and over 40 countries now have it. So a lot of people travel, they take them with them, and they hang them up. We've had letters from Singapore, Australia, places that respond that they've found these charms. And it usually finds the right person at the right time. Something's going on in their life, brings a little hope and a spark of enjoyment for them, and a relief from whatever they're going through at the time.
Sure, that's true, and they're beautiful. They really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're moving on to a new project, Lucy. You've got this kindness bench project, which is taking Sedona by storm, or at least by cement.
Yes, by cement, for sure. Yeah.
Now tell us how this project got started.
Well, this project started probably in the spring of this year. We had thought that we wanted to do a kindness wall, an actual big wall in Sedona, but understanding that takes a lot of resources, and so I had made mosaic benches before, and I said, but we could do kindness benches, and that would be fast and easy. It wasn't quite so fast and easy.
It never is quite as fast.
But we started, it really turned into a great community project, so there were so many people involved. But we first started, I went to Excalibur in Sedona, and they went to their store room and found 13 old benches. So they were all different shapes and sizes, and they gave us a great price on them. So we bought them, and then we thought,
How are we going to get them there?
how are we going to get them there? And a local moving company, Sir Moves a Lot, just made that, picked them up and moved them for us so that we could store them for the summer. Then we said, okay, now we have to sell 13 benches. And so we were planning on marketing them at Sedona Women, which is an organization in Sedona. And so Lenore Hemingway, who is a great mosaic artist and was really the backbone of this project also, she and I made 2 benches this summer so we could photograph them and so we could market them. In this, we never got to September. In fact, Joy and I were selling the last bench at the same time.
Wow.
And so we sold all 13 benches and then 3 more. So we had to have
3
some more
we couldn't
made.
turn down.
Wow.
Isn't that fun? So we think, where except Sedona could you just put it out there and find 16 people that will buy a bench and then give it away?
Right.
Because every one of them were giving these benches to the city.
Right.
And besides Sir Moves a Lot, we had an emergency move, and
Go Orange.
Go Orange did that for us, right? They just showed up on the spur of the moment and moved those benches. Larry Kane, who is a professional photographer in town, he came in and photographed the process and all the benches once they were in place. And who else was it?
Oh, we just had an outpouring from the community of supplies. We had pieces of tile and
we did.
Just everything that we could need for the project was made possible.
I wanted to build them all out at the same time, so finding a space large enough to do that, I thought would be a serious problem, but Rick and Carol Gondolfo have a huge studio, and they gave it to us for 10 days free, so that we could line them all up. And then I gave everyone the opportunity to build a bench if they bought a bench. And of course, they didn't know what they were doing. So 5 or 6.
Not easy to do that work.
Yeah, but that's okay. They could, because 5 mosaic artists who were experienced spent the whole week at that project and helped everybody put their piece together. And it was a great community project. We had so many volunteers, and now they're spread out all over the city, and the city loves it. And
what was really amazing too was the bonding that went on during that project. It wasn't one person working on one bench. It was like if anyone needed help getting the tiles cleaned or scraped off or whatever, we'd all just go over and do that bench, and it was a party.
Yeah, it was. It was a party.
How fun. And what an interesting idea to do benches. And each one is an incredible work of art. We've been scrolling through some of the pictures, and they're gorgeous. We're not talking something that looks like it was made by 3rd graders, no offense to any 3rd graders out there, but top quality artwork here, each one with a little message. Where did the message come from?
The message came from the person that bought the bench. It's always something about kindness. Many of them were memorial benches for someone, and so some of them were just donated, so we just put kindly donated by, or some of them just said kindness is love in action. So every one of them had some kind of message about kindness on them. So we hope that when visitors, because they're spread all over uptown, and locals, that just sit and think about kindness for a while.
And you put them in very pretty places too. I have to say. I'm impressed. Whomever worked with the city, I bow down to you. That was amazing, just in itself, getting those benches approved to be around town.
Well, the city was very enthusiastic about it.
They were so excited about it. They really were. And we expected the same thing, quite honestly, Jen. We expected, okay, we're going to have to get engineering reports, and we're going to have to do that. They were excited to get it. And they actually installed all of the benches that were on city property.
Wow. See, I was going to ask you that, how the installation.
Because these benches weigh about 150 pounds.
Sure.
So they're big and they're heavy. My husband and Lenore's husband went with every installation and made sure they were seated properly, and they just turned out great. I'm real excited about them.
What a wonderful way to spread kindness, you know, through the beauty of art,
Right.
which is, you know, a wonderful thing, and in a public place, and the color, and of course it blends itself so well into Sedona with its eclectic art scene, and of course the tourists need a place to sit, and the
Right.
locals need a place to sit, enjoy your coffee, and look at the red rocks, or just sit and enjoy just being in the space of the Sedona.
Right.
So what a neat thing to come across. So Joey, how did you get involved with Sedona Kind?
I think it was originally on the hike when we just kind of formed the group and just said, you know, we need to do something. And we did the charms for years, and then we said, well, we need to do more. And so we took on a lot more projects for the last 3 years. Everything from, well, in the spring we do an unsung hero event where we make something for those people who don't get the accolades that a lot of people do. It could be anyone from a caregiver to a dentist to a gardener, anything like that. Every year we pick a project to do for the year. The first year last year was the veterans. The year before was the food bank, and this year we chose the teachers.
All right.
Because, you know, the teachers have put a lot of money into supporting their classrooms. It doesn't always come very easily for them. So this year we benefited the teachers, and we've had a Teacher Appreciation Day. We have people who are certified to go into the classrooms now to do projects with the kids, reading programs, puppets, and it's all about kindness. And a whole library for them for that.
That's
And,
I think one of the
and
nice-
supplies for the teachers
Great.
to work
And
in
I
the
think one of the
classroom.
nicest things they did was we had these little bracelets made, you know, the rubber bracelets that everybody wears, and kindness was in multiple languages.
Oh, nice.
And so we gave them to all the kids in the elementary school. And the key was you put them on your left hand in the morning, and then when you did a kind deed, you could change them to your right hand.
very
because, see, that
clever.
was the right thing to do.
Oh my gosh.
And these kids came to school looking for kind things to do.
How wonderful.
The attitudes changed. They went out of their way to try to find something good to do, some way to help their friends or their teachers so they could put it on their right wrist. That's a great thing, isn't it?
Fantastic, Lucy.
Isn't that
That's
fun?
fantastic.
Yeah.
What brought you into the organization?
My friends.
Yeah, nice.
Right? Yeah, my friends, and we hike together sometimes, and I've made jewelry from time to time, so you know that we sort of get together and we make our charms once a month. And it's kind of like an old-fashioned quilting bee.
Sure.
And we all spread our jewels all over the place, and it's fun, and it's and we're doing something sweet.
Yeah, definitely. Are you taking more members, more volunteers?
We always take anyone who wants to be involved, and there's so many ways to be involved, not just the charming, but for example, we have knitters in the group, and they've knitted hats for all the kids, and a lot for the homeless and for the veterans, and they're constantly making them, and so we have stockpiles of caps in the winter for those who are needing it.
You're always doing something wonderful and fun and spreading kindness in small ways that mean so much.
And there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah, that's really the object, is just to spread that kindness in little ways and to remember people.
There you go. Well, if you want to help spread the kindness, of course, you can volunteer. If you go to sedonakind.org, you can check that out. But you can also donate if you'd like to. Of course, you can just drop off donations at the Remax Realty in the Safeway Plaza in Sedona, or the Sedona Art Center in Uptown. If you go online, you can do a donation through PayPal. You can help with the supplies. You can, if you don't want to be hands-on, you can also donate it monetary. You know, spread some kindness that way. Wonderful time of year to talk about spreading kindness. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Joy, so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Keep up the great work. I absolutely adore your organization, and I can't wait to go sit on one of your benches.
Oh, great.
And we'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
We Organize You serves the entire Quad City area and the Verde Valley with custom cabinetry, including kitchen, garage, laundry, custom home office, and closet systems. Stop by their showroom in Chino Valley to see how they can make your home more convenient and valuable. It's time to get reorganized with We Organize You. For more information, go to weorganizearizona.com. That's weorganizearizona.com.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now here at the wonderful, fabulous, one of my favorite places, Fort Verde State Historic Park. This is my favorite time of year to come out here because the park is all decorated in Victorian Christmas style.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is Sheila Stubler. She is the park manager here. I love the transition you go through every year. Every year it gets decorated to the nines and by a group of children. This is a recent thing for me. You told me that some children volunteer to come and help decorate the fort.
The Teen Advisory Council over at the Camp Verde Community Library, they've been helping to volunteer, and so we save a few of the trees every year, so on Friday afternoon they come out and they decorate.
Wow, it's wonderful. And the trees are all real, so everything smells amazing, which you go out and get.
We sure do. We have a wonderful volunteer. His name is Keith, and he goes alongside, and we find 5 pinyon trees, and each of the homes gets decorated with the pinyon trees and Victorian wreaths, and our stairwell is all decorated. And of course, we get our permit from our friends at the Forest Service before we go and cut our trees.
To get your Christmas tree permit.
Absolutely.
They're like $10. It's a great thing.
Yes,
all the different forests do it. They're probably all sold out now, so don't.
Well,
but that's a great thing. You never know. Check into that. But all the decorations that are on the trees are all in the Victorian era style. Like this is a Tussie Mussy. I love these.
Yes.
You every year do a workshop.
We do.
That was been passed, but you do a workshop for these, and they're great. They're filled with treats. Of course, we have paper dolls and the crocheted snowflakes. I mean, it's gorgeous. You do a great job of making sure everything stays correct to the period.
Thank you. We try, and we have a lot of wonderful volunteers that help make it happen.
I know everyone here is so amazing. Jim Johnson here to say one. Here's one. We borrowed one right here. Now, one of the things that I love that you do here are candlelight tours.
Yes. In fact, they've been so popular that what we decided to do was expand them by another week because a lot of people would show up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it." So on Friday, December 7th and December 8th, and then the following weekend, Friday, December 14th and December 15th. And on December 8th, our friends at the Camp Verde Promotions have sponsored a free night. So if you come Saturday, December 8th for the candlelight tours, Camp Verde Promotions is taking care of the tab. So you can come and enjoy the parade that's going to be in downtown Camp Verde, and then after the parade, come on over and see the candlelight tours.
There you go. But if you miss that, it's also happening the next weekend. So that's a really thank you for making them longer because we were always missing them.
Absolutely.
So just in case you've missed it, it's also happening on that day too. So that works out really, really well. So it brings so much life into the fort here as far as Christmas goes. Now, Jim, so tell us a little bit about what you do here as a reenactor.
Most of the time, I come and usually here with schools. We've got a lot of schools that we visit over the year, and a lot of our younger students, and we do the best that we can, and they enjoy it so much. They really do. I usually do weapons and early weapons at the 8th period, and of course, everybody wants to play with the guns, and but you know, we teach them what they are and how they were used, and the difference of what they use today and what they used back then. You know? And there is a big difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference. And as far as Christmas goes, there's a big difference from my house to here. I love coming and seeing the popcorn and the cranberries and the socks by the fireplace. It must be even more fun for you as a volunteer this time of year.
Yeah, it is. Especially when the children come in and get to see all the holiday decorations and the older ones that they just they normally don't have on their Christmas trees. You know, the people that were here in the 1800s, they didn't have anything that except what they brought with them or what they could make. And they were from all different walks of life, and some of them were Christian, some of them weren't Christian, but everybody celebrated the holidays. It was something that they could do in the Union. And the officers and the enlisted men they just about got rid of their rank, and everybody had a good time. And it was very interesting.
Well, certainly. And back then, you know, it didn't cost a lot of money for Christmas. Now they say the average person spends about $1,000 on Christmas, you know, including decorations. But back then, it was what you had in your hands. You have paper, you have ribbons, you have popcorn, you have trees. You know, you make little gifts. You know, I love all the little crafts. And now if you go to the bookstore, the gift store, you know, you've got all kinds of little packages that little kids can purchase and then make things that are perfectly era appropriate. And it's on sale.
Yeah, 20% off from now until December 10th.
Until the 10th. So catch that. If you don't, well, you know, the prices are great anyway, and the proceeds support the park.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's always a really great thing. You know, if you come in, you can find all kinds of things for sale. I love wandering around. It's so picturesque in here, Sheila, that I think it's a really great way to come and take family photos this time of year.
Absolutely.
And enjoy, you know, standing in front of the stairwell particularly. I mean, good God, dress the kids up, bring them in.
Yeah, we've had a number of people that have actually had their wedding photographs taken there where they've had the bridal party stand on the stairway. And it's amazing when you see them all dressed up, and it's pretty cool. It's a one-of-a-kind, unique picture that you can't get anywhere else.
That is true. Now, if they want to come and take Christmas photos with the family or something like that, park admission, of course.
Yeah,
but
park
anything
admission,
else?
just the regular $7 for adults. Kids 6 and under are free. 7 to 13 are $4. But if they want to get their picture taken, if they give us their camera, we're happy to take it for them, no charge.
Oh,
yeah, we do that. We do that with period clothing, like how Jim is dressed too. So, and we have dresses and uniforms.
Right.
Ever since we've been doing that, it's amazing because so many people have been coming and posting their pictures on our Facebook and on TripAdvisor, and a lot of really cool things. So it's neat to see families coming together. So this is definitely a way to bring your family together.
That is true. I love that. In the main house, there's a room where you have just a clothing rack full of all kinds of period-appropriate clothing that you can don and then take your pictures. Yeah. That's so much fun.
Yeah, and it makes you feel like you're right there, like you get an understanding of what it was like for somebody to dress in the clothing that they had back then, or to wear the wool uniform like they did back then, and it certainly gives you a different perspective. Even walking through the old homes and hearing the creaking of the floors, and knowing that these are the original buildings that they walked through, it really makes you feel completely like you're present with them.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's a very grounding feeling.
When I first got here, I was amazed that the floors that you're walking on are 145 years old.
Wow, 145-year-old floors. Absolutely beautiful. The Christmas decorations stay up till January 1st.
January 5th.
January 5th.
Yeah.
So you have some time if you want to come in. If you've missed the candlelight tours, better luck next year. But come in anyway. Come enjoy the fort. Enjoy the decorations. Come get your photos taken. Bring the kids. Come anytime. You can come any time of year. Fort Verde State Historic Park is amazing, Sheila.
We would love to have you back.
You guys do such a great job. Keep it up.
Well, thank you very much.
Sure.
Have a good Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. When your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, like dreamers do, fate is kind, it brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of a secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Fate is kind, it brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of a secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
Very nice rendition of that, Ken. I like that a lot.
Beetle bow.
That was, yes. Ken Trout, everyone. That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
That was nice. I love your vintage guitar. It has a great cowboy twang to it.
Thank you. That's it is vintage. It's an oldie.
Yeah. How old do you think your guitar is?
I bought it about 35 years ago.
New?
It was new.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
They have a different sound, the vintage guitars.
They do, and I like the sound of this one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for being such a humble musician, because you don't gig, I know you say you don't gig,
No.
you can be found at a few places. We can find you. You are a open mic night supreme.
If your timing is bad and you're really unlucky, you can find me at an open mic occasionally. I also have played a few times at a monthly event at the Camp Verde, the new Camp Verde Public Library, every second Thursday of the month. Gary Simpkins hosts an event there called Music in the Stacks. I like to refer to it as Live in the Library.
Oh, there you go.
But they have a circle of musicians, a different group of musicians each month that take turns sharing songs. And it starts at 5:30 and runs for a couple hours. Second Thursday of every month. And they've been doing that for a year and a half or almost 2 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's a great program. The Music in the Stacks program. You can check it out at Camp Verde Library's website.
Yes.
If you go there, it's there. And we're talking great musicians. Just
pretty
great
good.
musicians.
A little bit more professional experience than what you might find ordinarily at an open mic event or something like that. Really top-notch musicians at the library.
Absolutely. We're fortunate. There's a lot of things happening in the Verde Valley. I say this a lot, where musicians are very fortunate and music lovers are very fortunate because there's so many venues. Thanks a Latte in Camp Verde does wonderful, wonderful open mics. Red Rooster here in Cottonwood does them.
Yes.
At the Oak Creek Brewery does them. You know, they're all over the place pretty much every week.
There is an open mic on the first Friday of each month at I think it's called Oak Creek Espresso in the village of Oak Creek, which is right behind the Artists Gallery there on Main on 179 in Oak Creek. And the one thing that I would like to talk about today is the performance art venue in Sedona that is called the Hub.
Right.
They host a variety of all performing arts, everything from dance to theater to poetry readings. And the part of the series that I'll be involved in this month is called Music in the House. And the Music in the House musical performance series is a once monthly concert. Part of the building there at the Hub is a very nice little kind of an intimate concert venue, seats 75 to 80 people perhaps. And on the second Friday of each month, the Music in the House series presents a concert, one of which will be this month on December 14th. On Friday, December 14th, is a special Christmas concert that I will be a part of, along with Larry and Leslie Latour, who produce all of the shows at the Sedona Hub. Mike Kolwitz on his incredible Chapman stick, who has been here with you before, and a beautiful, wonderful singer, song stylist called Devin, whose name is Devin Angelette, will be there with us also. And the four of us will sing. It will not just be a concert in December, it will be a Christmas concert.
Very nice.
And there's even apt to be some group caroling breakout if things get really out of hand.
Yes, when things get out of hand.
And we all get really crazy at our Christmas concert, right?
That's true. But the good news is, if you've missed the Christmas concert, that does happen monthly.
Yes.
Every month there's a new musician, and we've been fortunate to have quite a few of them on the show, so I can vouch for how good they are. They're absolutely amazing. Larry and Leslie have been on the show a few times. Devin Angelette's been on the show. Of course, Ryan Biter performs there as well. We're going to have Ray Sealing is going to be one of our next guests.
Ray is just one of the dearest men that I have met in the 5 years that my wife and I have been here in the Sedona area. A wonderful man and a member of the Arizona Country Music Hall of Fame.
Get out.
And I consider the opportunities to sit and play with Ray similar to playing catch in the backyard with Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle.
Wow.
When you're talking about Hall of Famers.
Nice.
And but the series at the Hub continues on through the spring. They have one concert a month from October through May. In January, I believe it is the 8th of January, anyway, it's the second Friday. I can't remember the exact date. It wouldn't be the 8th because that doesn't coincide with when New Year's Day is. Anyway, it might be I think it's the 11th of January. Anyway, will be Jim French, who has been here with you.
Jim's amazing.
Bill Bassett, one of the lead entertainers at the Blazin' M Ranch.
He was our very first guest.
Oh, he
5
is.
years ago.
And he also is a recently inducted member in the Arizona Country Music Hall of Fame.
Get out.
And then in February is the 1 month when there will be two concerts. Ryan Biter will be at the Hub in Sedona on the 8th of February.
Nice.
And he will be hosting a group of up-and-coming young singer-songwriters in the area. Should be very interesting. I doubt if any of these folks have been with you on your program.
Well, I have to be there. Scout some more talent.
But then, as I said, in February there will be two concerts, and the second is a Valentine's Day concert. Larry and Leslie Latour, who, for my money, are two of the most gifted songwriters in the Verde Valley right now. They're from Maine, and they've been here about the same number of years that I have been. Wonderful, wonderful songwriters, and they have done a Valentine's show each February 14th of their love songs.
No, they get love.
They do, and they have invited me to open the show that night with 4 or 5 songs, a couple of my favorite love songs, for the Valentine's Day show. And then there will be additional shows in March. In March, Gary Simpkins, who has been here before, with his very excellent group of musicians that call themselves Loose Change.
Yes.
We'll be playing there. In April and May, I'm sorry, but I can't remember right now the names of the artists who will be there, but there are some wonderful, wonderful musicians.
Yeah, you can go online and check out the Sedona Hub. You'll find all the information there. Of course, anytime you type in music Sedona, the Hub's going to come up because there's a lot of musicians playing through there.
That's correct.
It's a beautiful venue, and it's a great place to see you, Mr. Who Does Not Gig. You gig in your living room for your wife and your dog.
In my living room with my wife on the couch and my dog at the foot of my stool.
There you go.
The dog allows Laura and I to live there with her as long as we satisfy her every need and give her treats when she acts in a way that she feels deserves one.
Excellent.
But we're allowed to stay there with her as long as we toe the line.
And she gets fed and music gets played to her. That
correct.
dog has a good life.
That's correct.
Now, what would you say your favorite type of music to perform is?
Well, I like the pop, rock, and country music genres. Some of my favorite songwriters are John Denver, Jackson Browne, this group of 4 guys who showed up on Ed Sullivan one night called the Beatles.
Sure.
Pretty decent songwriters. And unlike many of the other musicians in the area who write original songs, I have never written any songs. I've always felt that there were so many good songs out there that I was trying to learn. I didn't have time to, I didn't want to bother to try to write one. When you have those kind of songwriters and the kind of songs that they come up with, I try to pick good songs, and like a chef in a kitchen, you try to start out with something really good and then try not to mess it up. And hopefully it comes out pretty well, and ending up being my version of what I might call musical comfort food.
Oh, nice. See, I get that from you when you perform. It's that comfort food, the good songs that everybody knows and everybody likes, but not the ones that are overplayed. Not the ones that's like, everywhere you go.
Some of mine are.
No,
some of the ones I pick
but you put a different spin on them.
I hope so.
You definitely do.
I hope
that
so.
was, very different spin on the first song. What's the second song you're going to play?
The second song I'm going to play is a favorite Christmas song of mine that I will be playing at the Sedona Hub Christmas show on the 14th of December. It's a John Denver song. And I guess you could say it might go out especially to any working cowboys in the Verde Valley who might be sitting around the campfire in the evening accessing your program on their mobile apps.
There you go, sitting on their iPhones on their horse.
It's called Christmas for Cowboys.
Christmas for Cowboys.
Yes. What
brought you to Sedona, Ken?
My wife and I were married in Old Town Scottsdale. I had been to, we had visited Sedona once before that. We came up here on our honeymoon in 1997. Wow. We have visited Sedona in the spring every year since 1997 to hike and to enjoy the outdoor activities here. And we decided, I think, on our first trip and our first drive up Chapel Road toward the chapel when we had tears in our eyes. I think that was when we caught Red Rock fever, decided we wanted to move, and finally in 2013 we pulled the plug and made the jump and came out and have no regrets about having done that.
So you and your wife and your dog are super happy here in Red Rock Country.
We love it here, and we were so glad that she got to do some hiking with us after a couple years of leaving her at home in a kennel while we came out and did that.
Oh, well, good.
We all love the area very much.
Well, very good. Well, we're very fortunate that you moved here and brought your nice comfort food style of music with you. So check out the open mics. Definitely a way to support local musicians. Of course, there's Thanks a Latte. They happen over at Red Rooster. They happen at Main Stage. They happen at the Oak Creek Brewery. They happen pretty much all the really good places have open mics now. If you type in the internet open mic or you go to your favorite place, they're going to have an open mic at some point. But Thanks a Latte really does an amazing job. Gets really great people in there. Of course, Music in the Stacks at the Camp Verde Library. You got to check that out. Music in the House at the Hub. If you're a music lover, there's no excuse for you not to find some live music several nights a week while you're here in the Verde Valley. So make sure that you get online. Check it out. You'll find somebody good. You might run into Ken, which would be really cool. The musician that doesn't gig. Ken Trout,
Correct.
Thank you so much for being here, Ken.
Here I am,
really
not playing another song.
Not playing another song in public. Definitely, he's not playing another song in public. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a Happy New Year. I can say that now because it's December. I can say Happy Holidays. Of course, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching the Verde Valley Experience. We always appreciate you joining us. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on verdevalleytv.com, and I'll see you next time.
Tall in the saddle, we spend Christmas Day driving the cattle on snow-covered plains. All of the good gifts opened today, and ours is the sky and wide open plains. Back in the city, they have different ways. Football and eggnog, Christmas parades. But I'll take a blanket and I'll take the reins. Christmas for cowboys and wide open plains. A campfire for warmth as we stop for the night. The stars overhead for Christmas tree lights. The wind sings a hymn as we bow down to pray. Christmas for cowboys and wide open plains. It's tall in the saddle, we spend Christmas Day driving the cattle on snow-covered plains. So many gifts have been opened today. And ours is the sky and wide open plains. It's Christmas for cowboys and wide open plains.